That's new.
I need to mark now because I have to sync audio and video together. Yep. So trying to up our game, especially because we're down someone, but we did get a replacement.
Learned me something today.
So introducing oh, we need practice.
And this is ILNL.
Hello and welcome to ILNL. Chico's here. I'm here. Grogu is making an appearance.
He is just full of randomness today, isn't
Just
he?
being unruly. Just don't know what's going on over there. See? Oh, using the Force.
That's rude.
Guess doesn't care.
Clearly.
Welcome to the show, guys. Chris and Chris, our normal compadres, are MIA. So as before,
they're out on slick leave.
yeah. So we're gonna hold down the fort and going back to a little OG-ness. +1. So, all right. Should we get into this first one?
Let's go.
All right. So, this is going to be such a distraction. Oh, man. All right. So, okay. DuckTales. If you've been a fan of DuckTales for a lengthy amount of time, you know that the reboot came to us in the form of Disney.
And now it went.
And now it is gone the way of the dodo. And
this is after season 3, right?
Season 3, I believe, is when it's going to be done. So, a part of me is a little upset. So, I was like, what the deuce? And why are they taking it away?
Well, I mean, he works for Disney, so he would know.
Well, he's not telling us anything that we don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. We already know it's going away. So it is this is not gonna work. All right, we're gonna work with it. All right, so is this a thing? Because Grogu thinks it is. But
he does.
Is this a thing because of the whole thing of okay. So check this out.
Good night. No, you need a nap.
Are you done? Or are you finished?
He has a breathing issue,
Asthma?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get back to Grogu in a moment. So, Disney. All right. So, it was a really cool thing for them to bring DuckTales back, but it didn't even last for like 4 seasons.
It didn't.
And that is a big deal for resurrecting any of the old cartoons from the Disney Afternoon lineup and all that type of stuff. We just barely saw Darkwing
Right.
in a cameo, and
Gizmo
there's
Duck.
talks of him getting a spinoff. Gizmo Duck has made an appearance. Some of the old characters that was thought to be spinoffs were appearing in this, but now they've decided that this is done. Do we feel like this is going to be, more of the same with a post pandemic uh
Mm,
thing? Is it where we can't get our actors and our animators and such together to produce this stuff, and they're like, we gotta take it off, like,
that is an excellent
you
question.
know, or is it that Disney was like, you know what?
Because I almost feel like animators would have an easier time to produce than your run of the mill live action type show or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. It's I don't know, like the show for most part is a good show. Like there's very few reboots of things that come out, especially out of Disney,
Right.
that I'm like, this is actually really good.
It's pretty good. Finally got to see Donald's sister, the
Yeah.
triplets mom, and so
So I'm I don't know if this was a good thing or not. Like, well, the other thing to take into consideration is that we're not necessarily Disney's audience.
true
So,
anymore.
well, no, we're their audience when we go to the park
Hmm.
because we will go and spend $300 on a lightsaber. I'm just saying. Um,
I don't know about all that.
well, there's some of us that I know that went to Orlando, Disney World, and went to, I believe it's called Beggar's Canyon, and went into the place where you make your sabers, and they anniversary gifts to their not anniversaries, their wedding gifts to themselves were sabers. So
Did you buy a $300 lightsaber that I don't know about?
no,
Oh, okay.
but don't
Did your
worry.
wife buy a $300 lightsaber?
No. I would be surprised and quite honored if she did something like that, but no, she's more sensible than I am. She wouldn't do that, would you? Ah, who knows? But no,
Yeah, come home with matching lightsabers.
no, that will not happen. I I will tell you right now, the saber that I would do would be the dark lightsaber, the one that the guy in the Mandalorian has right now.
I don't know if you can get that one at the.
You can.
Oh, they have it now.
The crystal's there.
Okay.
It's the black obsidian crystal.
Hmm.
So, yeah, Ducktales. Um, I think they're not really catering to us because sure this was a reboot, but they had a lot of younger themes in it for the show. So I don't know. But should we be worried about any of the other DuckTales related cartoons not making an appearance?
I don't know. What is the normal lifespan? Excuse me. Nowadays for a Disney cartoon, how many seasons does something normally last?
That's hard to
It's
answer.
been a while since I watched one.
It's hard to answer because, like, when we were growing up, oh man, we're doing old school like the Young Turks. This sucks. Um, when we were
Thanks,
growing
Tim.
up,
Thanks a lot.
it just popped in my head as I started talking. I was like, oh man, which one of us is the glasses dude, and which one of us is like the main dude? I guess I don't know. I guess I talk more than the other one, so I guess I'm the main dude. I don't know. Either way, that was a bad visual for me. Okay. So what was I saying? How long a series season lasts? So I don't know anymore because
So how long has that the Mickey Mouse show been on?
which Mickey show? I really don't watch Disney like that.
There's one that's around the age of, well, it's a little bit older than DuckTales maybe, but I feel it's still
Is
on.
it the CGI one?
No,
Yeah.
it's he looks like old school Mickey, but it's animated for the now.
I don't know. So the short answer to the question of how long do these shows last is I don't know anymore because I'm kind of stuck in Disney afternoon.
Hmm.
And since TV was different back then, there wasn't streaming, people made shows for commercials and all of
Right.
that type of stuff. We could expect that a season could be like when I looked at Thundercats, a season for Thundercats was 65 episodes. One season. So I don't know how much Disney might have fell into the gap of being that same type of show where it had a lot of shows because they pumped out a show either every day or once a week.
Right.
Um, but I imagine these shows probably was maybe like 12 is like the average number you see for a season,
Hmm.
give or take. That's my guess.
No, not how many episodes per season. How many seasons before something starts?
Before they take something off.
Yeah, that's what I was going with.
That is interesting because I believe then this ran its gambit. That it ran its course. Maybe 3 or 4 seasons is the run for a Disney show. But you got to consider this is like Disney XD.
Right.
And then they'll take this content and they'll put it on Disney Plus.
Oh, it's already on there. That's why I was curious.
Oh, well, there you have it. So, I don't know. I'll ask you this, though. You did watch some of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what did you think of the performances of the actors? Do you feel like being someone that grew up on the original series that this felt familiar but new? Or did you feel like this was a money grab?
Did. I think the biggest change was mostly with the kids themselves. They had the same personalities, but it was more updated, so to speak.
Yeah, it was a refresh. Yeah. Like the things about like being a junior woodchuck, they really played into it and stuff like that. But he still kind of kept those personality traits.
Right.
I liked.
I mean, Webby was the biggest change.
Yeah, they really reworked that character. I like how they reimagined Scrooge. They made Scrooge more adventurous and less entrepreneurial. Like, there's a lot of me that was developed from the old Scrooge McDuck.
We know. We know.
And that particular Scrooge McDuck doesn't exist in this one. But I'm not upset about that. I was totally fine with how they rewrote the character. But,
this one was more midlife crisis, get the adventure in while I can type.
Yeah. This wasn't, I have it all and I could do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, will we say that this is bittersweet or we're okay with them letting it go?
I think I'm okay with it. It's kind of like when they stopped making new episodes of Ducktales and you were getting Darkwing Duck and everything like that, but you still had some of the characters cross over from time to time. So it balances.
I guess. Well, let's check out the comments. So Alex said that they should at least do a movie.
I'd be cool with that. The original started from a movie.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's when they first met Launchpad, and they went looking for something in the jungle.
You are absolutely right. Yeah, they went to
It was very Indiana Jones like.
Yeah, it was like the Brazilian jungle or something, and I remember either a guide or the antagonist was someone that looked like they came out of Goof Troop. It was one of the dog characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it was like this melted gold Mayan temple-ish type deal.
And the plane they had to put together from parts of the other plane ended up getting dipped in gold.
Yeah.
So he wasn't mad about the whole ending.
Yeah. Good memory.
I have my moments.
Yeah. So, DuckTales movie, Alex, yeah, I guess we could work with that. Arno says, in many ways superior. Haven't seen them both. And as a huge fan of the original DuckTales, I must disagree. Although after hearing the new DuckTales episodes were coming after 27 years, I was thrilled. And after seeing them, I was left nostalgically and humorously satisfied. But still, it didn't do it for me as the original DuckTales. Don't get me wrong, it's a very good cartoon. But saying it's superior someone must have said that this was superior. Is that
Oh, it might have been in the actual article.
Probably in the article from Nerdist. Okay. Well, that brings up an interesting question. If that's the case, DuckTales original or DuckTales reboot, or is this a remake? Damn, I can't remember we settled on our definition of which is which. Reboot is the same thing. Remake is using parts of it and making something new.
Yeah.
That was it. So this is a remake.
Yes, this would be considered a remake.
Yeah. All right. So original or extra crispy?
Hmm.
You like that, huh?
I do like extra crispy, but I'm gonna have to go with the original. Yeah, definitely the original.
I too am a fan of extra crispy. I will. Okay. The ultimate question of
Is it 50-50 for you?
If a gun was put to your head and you had to choose one, which one would you do?
The original.
So it would be the original. Yeah. I was having a hard time because there's things about the new one that I really, really, really like.
Right.
Especially animation. I'm always a big fan of good animation, especially if it's old stuff when they refresh it, because you can't go too far into doing something new and then you completely kill the original, i.e., Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But still have that essence, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the one that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, all things considered, original, which was really, really hard to settle on. But
saying 50-50 I'd have accepted that.
If I had to choose one, if a gun was put to my head, I'd have to say original. Talking about things being extreme.
And no guns were needed for the making of this show.
So we've had an interesting week when it comes to remakes. Elliot Page remade herself into himself, true self.
Yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations. This was an interesting story with Elliot Page because we're in a very transitional time. Not trying to make a joke here, no pun intended. Where we're starting to see more freedoms being expressed. More people are going to the streets to voice their opinions about what they feel, who they love, what they love, all those types of current events. And this is one of those that has hit the geek nerd community because as much as we've had inside our own divisions, there's one thing I can say with some pride. Again, no pun intended. The community has become more open over the years.
Yes.
While there's still some separation, but it's become more open, more accepting. Our local convention here that hopefully will come back next year, stronger, better than ever, BlurCon, started off as one thing and now it's an all-inclusive. All-inclusive?
I believe it's all-inclusive.
Okay, I just want to make sure I've said the term right. Event. So anyone is welcome, which is a really awesome thing, which lends into Elliot Page finding who he is inside and letting everyone know. What was your thoughts when the story broke?
I didn't really have a thought. I was like, okay, cool. Good for L,
Mm-hmm. I did.
You had plenty of thoughts.
And
because I remember you asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, and it wasn't anything in particular about Elliot because
right, it was like
it's very cut and dry. It's more so what is the aftermath of the change,
right?
Because in the comic book world, not to our knowledge, we haven't had someone openly um, reveal themselves to be a different sexual identification,
Mm.
which lends into their character having um, an LGBTQ theme.
Right.
And now there's confusion because a lot of what Elliot represents outside of Umbrella Academy is someone that fights for rights.
Right.
Um, she was, when she was Ellen, um, was on Vice, which is a very progressive channel. And the show
Gaycation, right?
Gaycation. And the whole thing of the show was to bring light to the blight of being lesbian, gay, transgender, so on and so forth, and showing in the real world where it's either accepted
Right. Shining
or
a
it's
light
being
on what everybody,
oppressed.
what different communities and people are going through.
Right. And I believe Elliot, um, being that Elliot is not a new person, Elliot is Elliot, probably was still champion for the community. And this then brings about, okay, as a network, do we support Elliot? And while that may not present itself right now, because we don't know, what we do know is, as far as being a fan of entertainment, we're always really cautious about anything that changes our universes. I brought up in our conversations earlier about the change of Rhodey in Iron Man
Right.
from Terrence Howard to
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle, and how that was a very drastic change. One, you have different actors who portray the character in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship chemistry thing between Iron Man and Rhodey is different. So now it's like, can you grow with Cheadle? Or did you really fall in love with Howard's performance? Would you accept Cheadle? And of course you have to, because he's now Rhodey and
Right.
you push him through. This is the thing that I was trying to kind of ask about.
Right. Like I was saying, we got Terrence for all of one movie.
But Iron Man was a very impactful movie for the whole cinematic universe.
True. And then we got Don for the second one, and then he stayed on. So we were able to get used to him. And I adjust to their chemistry rather quickly. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. seems to be one of those people where he's easy to connect with as
He
far
feels
as
like a universal kind
Yeah.
of actor.
So I think that's what it played into.
Mm,
The characters themselves weren't too different,
right.
but Don had the uh what's the word I'm looking for? I guess he had the luck of the draw of where his character got more focus.
Where they did more development into his character.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where in the first one we knew who he was.
Right.
We knew what he was supposed to be. We got a foreshadowing of it. That was the end.
Right.
This one he suited up.
In that, there was enough of a major event for the Cheadle version of Rhodey to grow with us.
Right. Here we had
Vanya.
Vanya, the same Vanya for 2 seasons.
Yes and no. I'm gonna be nitpicky.
Okay.
Vanya was a little bit different from season 1 to season 2 because of the whole thing of losing her memory
Yeah.
and having to rediscover who she is, both as a power and just her.
Yeah, she went through
own
2
journey.
different character developments.
Yeah. That being said, that and that comparison between that and Rhodey is two different tracks. But I get what you're saying. In this particular situation, though, I imagine that Elliot had a personal stake in this character
Yeah.
because I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Is it Vanya?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because Vanya had this whole self-discovery thing of sexuality.
Yes.
And from things that we've seen of Elliot over the years in public life and also in just some of the roles that he's picked over the years, there's been this core part of identity in those characters. And being that this is in Umbrella Academy, it's like a strong thread. Would the show support Elliot? With Elliot being who he is?
I think it would.
And then does that play into Elliot playing Vanya the same way, which is a part of what we were talking about, where an actor is an actor is an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go along with that. Absolutely, I can. Still, this is something that's new to the comic book universe that we're aware of. We don't know that many actors that have changed their sexual identity or their personal identity or their identification or any of those factors while being on a hit TV show.
Right. Actors, no.
I mean, the most that I could think of
Characters,
is
yes.
characters is not the same thing, though. Because if we want to fall into the whole thing of actors are actors are actors, they're playing a person.
Yeah.
But this is beyond that. At least for me, it is. It's more to it than that. The only thing that I could think of, and it's not even a one-to-one rationale or example, is the Wachowski brothers. Because of the Matrix. Like, nothing in the Matrix has changed except the directors.
Right.
You know, and that doesn't influence the story or the universe or anything like that. Now, if they would have wrote some characters differently afterwards, and that would change things, but they didn't. You know, so that's where I'm trying to see. Okay,
That's your way of saying Snyder cut.
no, not exactly, but yeah, just where's their influence and how's it gonna work for season 3 if season 3 isn't already in the can?
Well, as far as I know, they had started it. So,
Well, this was an interesting topic for the page in the community, having 74 comments on its own, 16 shares. And we're not doing any shout outs in this, even though it would be really cool because of all the participation that happened. But it would be interesting to see what the community was saying about it. Because, trust me, there's very few times that the community has something to say.
right.
And they spoke up. So, we're going to go
Just
for
go
it.
with most relevant, or you want to go with all?
I see. It's hard to tell because I don't know what Facebook felt was most relevant. So what do you say?
I know all their, it'll come up as a lot of tagged people, so we can stick with most relevant.
Okay, then we'll go with that. So the question is would Elliot still play Vanya in Umbrella Academy season 3? So Emmanuel says, why wouldn't he? With Rich replying back.
Well, the post isn't
exactly
asking the question; it's verifying. Yes,
that Vanya
Elliot
will
will still
return
play
and
Vanya.
Elliot's going to play Vanya. Yeah, gotcha. All right. So Emiko, I think it's Emiko, said to Matt, "Looky, I'm so glad no one else but Elliot can play Vanya."
I would agree with that.
I would agree as well because after
And you know, even thinking back now, every part that Elliot has, I can't see anyone else playing it. Like going as far back as Juno.
I will say, well, I'll finish my thought and then I'll say what I was going to say. I agree. Elliot should be Vanya, lock, stock, and barrel, no matter what. unless it was something that was crazy offensive to Elliot,
Hmm.
there's no reason why that part should be taken away. With what you just said, I don't know that I completely agree that every part that Elliot has played over his career is like a perfect one. But I do say that Elliot played the roles really, really well. Juno feels awkward like Elliot.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, Elliot was in The Last of Us,
Yes,
and
the
that was
first
the first one, and the side story. That was perfect. Um, so could I see someone else? Oh, and I can't remember the name of the game. I feel like it's Naughty Dog, but I'm not sure. But it's in the Heavy Rain world. Um, he had a role in that game as well.
Hmm.
Like a military psycho type game. Really, really good on PS3. But I can't remember the game at the moment. But yeah,
Quick side question is kind of on point with this. You don't keep up with X-Men, right?
I do. He's a part of X-Men.
Right. I mean the
Kitty
comic.
Pryde.
I meant the comic.
Oh, not in a long time. But what's up?
So recently, it has been shown that Kitty Pryde likes both guys and girls.
Didn't Pride have a relationship with Iceman?
They, I guess you could say they alluded to it.
Okay.
They had a friendship. In the movie, it was her and Rogue. But yes,
Yeah.
in the comic, she had one with Iceman,
Right. That I remember.
which is even funnier because, Iceman came out as gay.
Yeah.
So could
Well, are you saying full circle?
slightly,
I'm trying to see where this is going.
slightly,
All right.
but as being a character
Yeah.
that he brought to life,
Yeah.
you think he could play it again?
The guy who was Lamplighter and
No. Do you think Elliot could play Kitty Pryde again?
I see what you're saying. This was the same question that I had as far as this show. The whole dynamic of what the character is, and if it's something that Elliot could agree with doing.
Right.
I don't know.
Given what I just told you about how it's going in the comic.
Yeah, I don't know because there's a part of me that says yes,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's a part of me that says it depends. So I don't know. That is a very good question. Anyone that's watching, give us your thoughts because that's pretty intriguing. All right, back to the comments. So Amando says, "So sad to see straight white men playing roles other straight other." I just killed the joke. So sad to see straight white men playing roles other that straight white men. I know what they were trying to say.
Should have been Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try to read it the way I think they meant it. So sad to see straight white men playing roles that other.
Would you like for me to read it?
Give it a shot.
Can you move the camera? Because that's
It's
he's asleep. He don't need it. Wait, no, hold on.
Why don't I just do this? Watch this.
Or scroll up some.
Booyah.
See it. Yeah, it's still in the way. Just scroll up some.
I'll get it. Bigger is better. There you go. That's your line.
So sad to see straight white men playing roles other than straight white men.
She got the joke. Yeah, it's that whole thing of black actors, I guess. That's still kind of funny. Josh says, "Who TF is Elliot Page?" And that was perfect.
So, are they playing or did they not get the memo?
I think didn't get the memo. Cameron was like, "Ellen decided to be a man now." Then Tyler said, "Not really a decision." Josh says, "It's a decision." Tyler says, "Not really, but agree to disagree, I guess." Brad said, "Josh, we know who wears the strap on now." Oh. That's a bit much.
That went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And
No
this
pun intended.
and again, this goes back to the whole thing of where the geek nerd community is opening, but there's still some that
Mhm.
so sorry internet, you just kind of showed yourself. What can I say? All right. Ray says I feel it transitioning in the next season. Go boy. And replies, some replies, boy. And then Raymond says, thank you. I'm horrible but learning. See? And Melissa says, Raymond, educating yourself and respect is where it's at, my friend. So again, the internet shows itself.
Mhm.
So Cooper says, so she's finally becoming X-Men. Get it?
Unfortunately,
It's a
yeah,
bad. It's
it's
a
a
bad
bad
pun,
joke.
but yeah.
Ironic.
So Kenta says, remind me of the time another great actor did something like this, and it is I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Another bad joke, but yeah, see what you were doing there. Fryer says, but that's a woman's part. Dang, men taking all the best female roles. Who didn't see any of these jokes coming?
Oh, I saw them all coming.
Fryer says we won Woman of the Year too. Ian says so edgy. Corey says priceless.
Who was Woman of the Year?
Don't know. I feel like that's something we should look up later.
Yes.
All right, we'll look it up later. All right. So, I think it's Javier says minus the Vanya. I guess not a fan. Bo said that's not right. They need to stop casting white men in the roles of white women. Again, another questionable joke. All right, I want to speak to the camera real quick.
I don't think it's going to answer back, but okay.
All right, you're up.
You woke him up for that?
I woke him up for a specific reason.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with this. I just felt like it needed to be included.
Okay.
All right. So, internet. I know that this is a place where we all can speak our minds. Okay, that was a bad idea. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. There you go. All right. So while Grogu's going back to sleep. All right. Internet. I know this is a place where we can come together and share ideas, good, bad, or indifferent. But in the case of Elliot, letting the world know about who he is, who he loves, and all that type of stuff. There's just some things that feel a little bit out of bounds. So, just speaking on my behalf, not for anyone else on ILNL. Like, if you were in that position where you had to say something extremely personal and difficult, how would you feel if people made fun of it? Like, one of the things I could say about BlurredCon, even though they went away from the idea of what BlurredCon is, but turned into something more open and inviting. There was a reason why that had to happen. And that was because we're in a toxic space. And only we can change it. So I wanted to encourage you that's watching to just kind of think about it. You can feel how you feel and do things the way that you want to do. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of doing Johnny on the spot. But that just kind of came to me, and it's like, if I don't say it, it won't get said. So I just wanted to say that.
Look at you being all wholesome.
I'm trying not to steal the light. It's just this was a part of the reason why I really wanted this story in there, because it's more important than just is Vanya going to be
Agreed.
recast.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. Moving forward. Cyberpunk. Finally?
I would hope so, because I have 2 days I have to take off. Like literally, it's one of those. It's the
Yeah.
you use them or lose.
it.
Yeah. So, yeah,
So this better happen.
yeah.
All right. December 10th. So, what is today? All right. 6, 7.
So that's what, next Thursday.
Yeah. So we would have aired by then. Okay. So it was announced in their ring of announcements, their trickling of information, that they're including a multiplayer mode, which will be very similar to what GTA did, where it was an added
Right.
separate thing, not necessarily something that will come on disc.
Mhm.
Being that we do play online, how do you feel about getting a single player experience and then later getting a multiplayer experience?
I'm okay with it for now because I haven't done that. It was attempted on Fallout 76, but all the issues they were having in the beginning turned me off to the game, so I never really got into it. So my single players and multiplayers are completely separate.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
Unless you count Division, because that's kind of both.
Division is an online only game though,
It's
and it
online,
happens in real time.
right? But you don't have to be playing with people.
But if your game is open and
Right.
someone could just jump in, it just happens without
Mm.
you. Yeah. I'm excited for this. I've never played a Cyberpunk game, even some of the older stuff on computer. I know the lore of it. I know that much of it. But there was something about this that felt like I can now participate. And now that they announced the multiplayer, I was like, all right, you gave me more of a reason to jump in. You gave me a reason to Twitch this, because it's going to have those random moments built in.
It was Keanu Reeves, wasn't it?
I was super excited.
He looked
during
you in the eyes and
E3
said, "Tim, this is for you, man. You can come
when
play
he
now."
came on stage and he looked at me through the computer screen and said, "I love you too," because I did scream, "I love you," and I know he said that back to me. I know he did.
Happy for you, man.
Thank you for being in a video game. It's been a long time because Bill and Ted sucked back in the day.
Tanisha, get him some help. Anyway,
So
wait, did you say Bill and Ted sucked?
there was back in the day there was Bill and Ted games.
Oh, the games. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
No.
that's what I was like.
Movies
Wait,
are awesome.
what happened?
No, movies were awesome. No. The whole thing of making this universe and all of the customization and just how intricate the game is, that spoke to me. Because I was like, this feels like something I can get lost in.
Right.
And I was like, I could work with that. This didn't feel monotonous, even though we haven't played it yet, like Division did. Because like even me watching the videos of Division, I was like, pull out a gun, shoot some people, run around, loot, repeat. And it's fun doing that with people.
Yes.
By yourself, it just feels like you're doing go for missions.
Yeah, if you don't have once the missions are done, and it's like, okay, now what?
Right. This feels like a big deal. Like the people who've been a part of it have been screaming from the top of the hill about, when am I getting my game? They're the ones that kind of are the barometer to say if this is going to be something good.
And you have the replay value for at least 3 different games because of the lifestyles you can choose.
Right.
Speaking of which one do you think you're going to go with?
Can you refresh my memory as to what they are again? Because
So
I know one is like a higher class one.
That's corpo. You
Okay.
start off in the corporation. Excuse me. You end up some type of setup or whatever happens, and you end up starting from scratch again. You're still part of the corporation. You still have certain hookups, but you're basically in the streets now,
Okay.
doing stuff from that end.
Okay.
Then you have the straight street kid that grew up in the city, knows all the gangs, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Then you have the nomad, lives on the outskirts, basically drag racer, and comes into the city for the first time and starts the dealings there.
My gut is saying corpo. And it's
I
because
had a feeling you were going to go corpo, and I was tempted to bet money on it.
it's because of resources. I feel like this game is written in a way where there's attributes that are going to work in your favor depending on how you play and what you do.
Exactly.
And I feel like even though it's probably going to be like some corporate sabotage type deal storyline, I don't know what to expect. I just feel like there's going to be some things I'll be able to do with that type of archetype that I would have to work up to in the others. Even though, from what I understand, you can practically just do anything.
For the most part.
So I think I might start off there.
Hmm.
So since you asked me, I'll return the favor.
Oh, I'm starting off a street kid.
I kind of figured that was what you're
I'm-
gonna do.
I'm going homegrown, you know.
Started from the bottom.
Mhm.
Now you're
It was
wherever
between
you are.
that and nomad, but I'm like, I have family from the country, but I've never.
But you
more,
never-
I've never more than stayed a couple of weekends.
That was where you visited. Not where
Yeah,
you
that's what I was
stayed?
like. So yeah,
Yeah, I could dig it.
go with what you know.
Yeah. So I would be interested to see how this all works out in multiplayer. And even though we haven't confirmed it yet, but we keep talking about it in every episode, we're trying to figure out ways to make more content. Hopefully that will include streaming and such. And if possible, the voice that you hear every time we do shout outs might be doing streaming with me. I'm just throwing it out there and hoping that
I was
can
going to
make it
ask, is
happen.
Tanisha going to try to play Cyberpunk? At least do to create a character.
I think you should. I think it would be really fun to see what would happen and what would develop. So yes, multiplayer will be interesting. We don't know what the limitations are yet of it, like how many players and
Right.
and all that type of stuff. But it's good to see that they're thinking about the community and wanting to bring everybody in, which is always a good thing, because then all that money that you spent to play in the game, get as much life out of it as you can.
Right.
That means no microtransactions. Stop doing that.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're in a pandemic. I'm just saying. All right. So now it's time to transition to what I believe is everyone's favorite part of the show. Only because no one's told me that it's not.
The memes.
And that's the memes. So let's go ahead and jump
What's
into
the favorite thing on the page?
Hmm?
It seems to be the favorite thing on the page.
The page reacts well to the memes. All right. So normally I go for the high number ones, but I just wanted to go for the ones that was fun. Some of these will be high number ones, but who knows? This one reached oh man, did they change our numbers again? Good grief. All right. This had 32 reactions, 1 comment, 10 shares. And now it's time for
Shout out.
all right.
I was wondering how you were going to do that, being right up on the mic.
Yeah,
this time.
you got your own mic again.
Wasn't too loud.
I think you're okay. All right.
It's like, I hope she remembers she's not at the other end of the room.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say Himbe. I hope that's right. Christopher, Melissa, David, Jonathan, Josh, David, Alex or Alexis. I think that's Alexis. Jeremy, Ronnie, Johnny, Javier, Elizabeth, Ricky, Matthew, Hunter, Anthony, Bobby, Brandy, Alberto, Kelsey, Manuel, Rex, Scott, William, Frank, Sadiq, And everyone else, thank you so very much for being a part of the page and the community. As always, you guys rock.
You saw it was about to jump too, right?
I did.
I was like, it's about to.
Yeah.
It's going to keep going.
I was like, I'm losing some room here. All right, yeah. So I can relate to this. When you turn on your PC that you built for the first time. Okay, you've known me forever.
I'm going to say, I can relate to this too, because I've been around you when you've turned on the PC for the first time.
Okay, so thankfully, you've never seen me around a computer where I've built one from scratch and it's blown up.
Can't say I've had the recording pleasure of such a feat.
How would you react, just thinking hypothetically, how would you react if you did see that? If I built a machine and it just went, because I will tell you a story about a time it did happen, but go ahead.
So there's a scene in Scary Movie where I think they're messing with the ring,
Okay.
and I forget the character's name, but she goes, Cindy, TV's leaking. So I would probably be like, Tim, PC's on fire.
Jerk.
I mean, how else do you? I didn't run. I did not run.
Fair enough. I was expecting more theatrics, but that's just as worse. It's just as bad. All right, so
I'm a bit too stoic for that. The other two, however, that are missing,
they would clown me all to get out.
yes,
Yes.
and I'd help.
So I don't know if you remember this, but one time for a convention, it was for the Baltimore Comic Con. We had the grand idea of making T-shirts, and we were going to make T-shirts on the spot. And in preparation for that, we built a whole bunch of custom machines, and we were going to take big ass CRT monitors because flat screens weren't a thing. And we loaded up 2 cars, and we drove all the way to Baltimore.
This is the one I took off for and didn't even get to go.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Still in my feelings about that one, slightly.
I am glad that you didn't go, because that
Well,
was
afterwards
that
that
was a
one.
very painful lesson of losing our table, hauling a whole bunch of people and parts, losing our hotel, and still not making it to the convention in time to do anything that we prepared for. A lot of time lost. But the funny story of it is one computer that I built. So in building a computer, you have to cool the CPU so it doesn't blow up as soon as you put on some heat.
Right.
So I put, thermal paste on it, and I put the heat sink on and whatever. But I entrusted one person to do one thing. And it was a simple thing, but it was also a complex thing. Simple because if you've been doing it for years, you know which way to do it. And if you've never done it, you have a 50-50 chance. So on computers, there are power buttons. And if you reverse the polarity of the power button, you've reversed the polarity of the switch. So instead of it sending the right voltage, it'll send the negative opposite amount of voltage. So one computer had the power switch backwards. And I went to fire up the machine. So you want to try to fire up a machine in an open area in case there's a fire, and you can use a fire extinguisher to put it out. Well, I didn't have a fire extinguisher close by or anything like that. Push the power button. I hear, I'm like, did we just blow out a power supply? So I opened the box, and a plume of black smoke.
Mushroom cloud.
Just, I could imagine there was a skull inside the smoke. It just rose up like the soul of the computer, the essence of the machine, found its way to Mother something
To
or
the
another.
great motherboard of the beyond.
And was just gone. The thing about a computer, sometimes you can salvage things. Well, when it's power, most of the time it goes right through the board like that. Computer kaputs. Down one machine, we had to replace everything. Everything. The lesson in that is
Don't trust people.
nah, do it your damn self.
Same thing.
You can trust. No. Trust is good, depending on what it is. But
My form of trust is I trust people enough to know what they're going to mess up.
fair enough. Next one. I swear. Okay, I really think they took stuff away. We don't get all of our stats. Next time I will check to see what's going on with this, but let's continue. This post had 27 reactions, 1 comment, 31 shares. And now it is time for
Shout out.
all right, let's see how this works out. Put my finger on the button. Oh, I can say it. My finger is on the button. My finger is on the button. Those of you that know the song, put it in the comments below.
What's going on here?
Christopher, Denise, Melissa, Richard, Deacon, Vincent, Mint, David, Josh, Tina, Troy, Eleanor, Lala, Jason, Sarah, Wendell, Bernie, Steffi, that's Miss Steffi, Jason, Jack, Nicholas, Dustin, and everyone else that has contributed. Thank you so much for being a part of the page and the community.
Oh, the whole scroll just disappeared that time, didn't it?
Yeah, I swear
weird.
This is so different. Okay, all right. So, meme, Darth Vader. Okay, side note. When you grew up, I mean, when you were a kid and you were growing up,
Okay.
did you call Darth dark?
I don't think I ever really paid attention to it.
I remember growing up calling Darth Vader Dark Vader.
I feel like there were a lot of kids running around saying Dark Vader. I mean, it's kind of understandable. Kids hear what they want to hear, and you got a menacing dark figure. So, yeah.
So, lesson learned. You should have called him Dark Vader. You'd have more fans. All right. Darth Vader is pointing at Princess Leia and says, Cinnabons. That's what your hair reminds me of. Cinnabons. Very funny.
Now I want a Cinnabon.
See, we need a Kristen here. So Emily thought that this was cool and said, repost. So, yeah. All right.
The point does it.
Yeah. Cinnabons. Yeah. All right. So, believe we have one more, but I'll check it when I change camera. Yes, that is stuff that happens behind the scenes that you guys don't know about. So, all right. So,
Like all of your pop-ups.
I know. I swear I turned them off. All right. So, okay. So this post had 53 reactions, 66 shares, and now it is time again for
Shout out.
so Liz, Amanda, Hezekiah. I think that's right.
Hezekiah?
Wow, that is a biblical name.
You think?
James, Kelsey, Jacob, Jorge, Richard, David, Neil, Mark, Holly, Robert, Elba, TJ, Amanda, Tyler, Ken, Michael, Yams, and everyone else. Thank you so very much for being a part of the page. You are not mentioned, but you are not forgotten. I'm really trying.
It shows.
I'm really trying.
It shows.
This is getting difficult every week now. All right. So this is a cool
It's 2020.
meme. It's 2020. Hashtag 2020 sucks. So meme. The truck we expect every year, and it's the really festive Santa Coca-Cola truck. The truck we're getting this year, Umbrella Corporation. That is a really good find. I just have to say this.
Especially with the zombie minxes rising from the grave.
Zombie minxes.
So, somewhere not here,
Thankfully.
they had to put down like thousands of minks, the little
Yeah,
animal,
I know what a minx is.
because they had a weird form of COVID. Any rate,
This is straight out of a comic book.
they put them down,
Yeah.
put them in the ground,
Yeah.
and they noticed they started coming out of the
Nope.
ground.
Nope. I'm looking for a weapon.
So, you will not use my child as a weapon. Especially since he can use the force.
Do it. Do it.
Come on, Grogu. Do the hand thingy. My boy.
So,
basically, they dug too shallowly.
okay.
So, the head it's
See?
that's not appropriate. Anyway,
Hilarious. It's
but
hilarious. Hilarious ensues.
so of course, all the air left inside the animals starts to move. So
I don't even need you
that
to
is
finish
a good example.
I don't even need you to finish the story. That was just perfect.
So yeah, the way science, you're welcome.
Good job, kid.
So yeah, the way science works, because they didn't dig them deep enough, they started coming out.
Okay. See, this was perfect timing. That was awesome. And we do have one more, and it's appropriate because of everything. The most unrealistic thing in The Mandalorian is how quick Mando gets a babysitter for this little guy right
It's
here.
easy to get him a babysitter. Watch. Here, Tanisha. See? It's easy.
So unrealistic. All right. So this post
And the babysitter's easy.
this post got 130 reactions, 3 comments, 51 shares. And for the last time for this particular show, it is time for
4 shout-outs.
all right. Michael, Perla, Will, Brandon, Max, Christopher, Levance. Oh man. Thank you everybody. Thank you everybody. Thank you everybody.
Technical difficulties at its finest.
Oh my. Okay. So let's read some of these comments. Not that many. But Chris says maybe your kid just maybe your kid just isn't lovable.
I would concur.
And then
I had no problem. So
Julie said haha. And then a tag. I'm gonna be honest, because I thought about this too. I'm like, whenever we go out and we have kids, people don't go up to your child and be like, oh, it's so cute. And it's like, watch him for me. I gotta go inside and do some shopping. And then the person's like, okay, I got the little guy right here. Yeah, we're gonna sit right here and just have fun. That's not. And it happens everywhere he lands. Doesn't matter the planet. Doesn't matter if people are shooting at him. Doesn't matter if his ship has blasted holes in it. It doesn't matter if he's with an enemy or a long lost friend. He has the child in a sack.
I need to buy a sack.
And they're like, yo, let me get that.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this worked.
I swear. And he's a thief. Stealing those cookies.
Well, yeah.
No repercussions.
Well, I feel the day
Except
I think the day they decided to teach manners at the Jedi Temple is when Anakin decided to come substitute. So we all know how that went.
He was a substitute teacher and he wasn't having it that day.
Yeah, so that was the one day that Grogu was sick. Didn't make it.
No. No. And he can't talk.
Not to you.
He barely can point. And if he points, he might choke you out. No. Nope. Yeah. If I start seeing this.
Or maybe that's why all of them were so eager to babysit him. He was using the Force on them.
Nope.
You will watch me and give me cookies.
I will grab his little teeny clawy hand and push it down. He said, nope.
You see what happened to the two guys that punched him?
Nope. Bad little green thing.
Use the Force and break your fingers.
Yeah. I know his weakness. It's cookies. Blue expensive.
Stop confusing his
expensive
weakness
cookies.
with yours.
Got something to say? Mind your business. All right.
He's going to force choke you.
Oh, no. See? He knows what's up. All right. Let's go ahead and close this show. Okay. You got something to say?
I guess that's his final thought of the day.
All right, enough of that. So, since our other compadres couldn't make it for Chris and Chris, Chico, holding down the fort,
You can fly. Holy crap.
has a hand up his butt.
I'm going to need you not to say that like you sound jealous. That's not... We need to start bringing in more props.
I think we need less. I think we've been doing just fine. All right, for Chico, for myself, Tim, as always, thank you for watching.
You barking?
And
That's
watching
new.
on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the alert button for when new episodes come in.
Yes, please. We have
We're
younglings to feed.
We're doing so well. We have foundlings that need your
cookies.
support.
They need eggs and space cookies.
Guys, this has been ILNL. Thank you for watching.
Good night, everybody.